sa mundo ko.
Your daughter, Seleng, work for Cabeza?
Respond, the mayor is addressing you. Selling is at his house, President.
When did she go there?
A few days ago.
Why did she leave?
He's unwell, President.
The church bell rang at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. The mayor went out for lunch. Tata SELO stayed in the office with the chief and 2 policemen.
You killed Cabeza.
The chief moves Cabeza's body closer to Tata SELO, who is still sitting and not moving.
He's trying to take my land.
Suddenly, the chief pulls Tata SELO and he almost falls.
He was hitting me with his stick.
Tata SELO tears were falling as he shook, pleading desperately.
You need to stop fighting.
Tata SELO is pulled away and Chief punches him in the belly. Tata SELO falls to the ground, holding onto the chief's uniform, crying and trembling.
I only want to protect my land.
Tata SELO holding onto the chief's khaki uniform.
He struck with me his stick. Oh, he struck me and struck me repeatedly.
At the entrance of the office door, 2 policemen look sympathetically.
It was Cabeza who recommended the chief.
Said the police, while Tata SELO, like a cloth fallen off its hanger, was mistreated again by the chief. The next day, the sun rose red. In the municipal yard, papers from the left behind yesterday were scattered. The dust hadn't died yet, given the fact that this month is rainy season. When the wind blew, small whirlwinds of papers swirled in the air.
They will probably bring you to Cabeza, SELO,
Said the freshly bathed and dressed mayor to the old man inside the stockade.
You will probably imprison there.
Inside the stockade, there were no bamboo beds, and Tata SELO slumped in the dirty cemented floor. Around him, puddles of water were drying up. His black and rough feet were stretched out, and seemingly boneless hands were propped up. He leaned against the steel mat that served at the back of the stockade. Near his hand, there is a Dutch sardine that contained the black coffee and 1 plate of rice, attracting flies.
They will probably sentence you for life imprisonment.
Said the mayor. He lit a tobacco and approached the stockade. The mayor's shoes were shining.
Just killed me too, President. I killed Cabeza. Just killed me too.
The mayor was afraid of touching the dusty bars. He didn't touch them but rubbed his palm together and checked for dust. When he looked at Tata SELO, he saw that Tata SELO had leaned even more. There are people arriving in the municipal building. There are fewer compared to yesterday. They were able to enter the municipal building yard while the policemen followed them. Few of the arriving group to check Tata SELO were farmers. Most of them live in Poblacion. Until then, everyone is confused and in disbelief, even though the news is already widespread that Cabeza will be buried in the afternoon. They have mixed emotions of disbelief and confusion, looking at Tata SELO seemingly a strange animal to present. Just like yesterday, the sun is extremely hot. When it was almost 2 p.m., Tata SELO's daughter, Saling, arrived. Looking at her dejected father, she clung tightly onto the bars and sobbed loudly. The mayor found out when Saling arrived and was immediately called to his office. Soon after, Tata SELO was also taken away. 2 policemen helped him. They almost carried him. Upon arriving at the office, Tata SELO regained some strength for a short moment. He saw the woman sitting at the table facing the president. The father and daughter embraced each other.
You should not be here. Saling! You're ill, Saling! You're ill!
Tata Selo's daughter was in a daze while holding her father. Her unkempt hair was loose and her cloth is seemingly worn from yesterday. Her face was red and rigid with anger. She shifted her gaze from the seated mayor to the policeman.
Go home, Saling! Let it be! Let it be! Go home, Utter! Please don't say anymore!
Tata Selo completely collapsed. The mayor ordered to take him back to the stockade. Upon returning to the stockade, people continued to watch him.
Was beaten last night, covered with a wet sack, so it wasn't obvious. The daughter, did she arrive? With the mayor.
The two policemen let Tata Selo down in one of the corners of the stockade. He fell forward when he sat down. However, as he heard the steel door of the stockade close again, he crawled on his hand and knees to the bars. He clenched them tightly while lying down. He seemed to read for a moment. The policeman called him, but his voice was hoarse and they were already far away. His right hand was extended through the bars, and his face fell down in the cemented floor. He lay down for a long time until he heard someone waking him up. Tata Selo raised his teary-eyed eyes while glancing at the child who was calling him. It was the child who visited him yesterday. The child held Tata Selo's outstretched hand. It was almost 4 p.m. in the afternoon. The sun was twinkling, but it was still hot. There was a bit of shadow in the stockade by the side of the steel matting wall, but Tata Selo wasn't there. He was in the heat, gripping in the bars in front of the stockade. He was looking outside, his blurry eyes squinting against the red sunlight. Outside the stockade, the child he sent earlier was leaning against the bars. The child said that he wasn't allowed in the office of the mayor, but Tata Selo didn't listen to him while mumbling about taking the farmland. While holding onto the bars and looking outside, he mumbled that everything was taken. Everything. Oh, everything has been taken away from them.